This is authentic newsreel footage of the Palace of Justice at Nuremberg, Germany, the scene of the famous Nuremberg war crimes trials after World War II. In this courtroom, hundreds of former Nazi officials were called to account for untold atrocities and horrors. These are the faces of those once proud Nazis, faces that once mirrored power and conquest and the will of the Führer, faces that now reflect the fear of men on trial for their lives.
On the counts of the indictment on which you have been convicted, this tribunal sentences you.
These are some of the defendants at the infamous justice trial of 1947. These men were the high priests of German jurisprudence during the years when being a Jew was a crime and sterilization was a common sentence. This man's face is more familiar. He is Burt Lancaster, and he is on trial in Stanley Kramer's production of Judgment at Nuremberg, the powerful and dramatic story of the trial of Nazi judges for crimes against humanity. Unlike the actual defendants at Nuremberg, Lancaster has to bear the tension of his role as a Nazi jurist for only a few more weeks until the film is finished. But his anxious expression as he talks to producer-director Kramer between takes reveals that even this is too long. It is from this man, the presiding American judge of the motion picture trial, played by Spencer Tracy, that Lancaster, as the chief defendant, hears the final and unequivocal Judgment at Nuremberg.
A German woman who, during the Nazi regime, is put into prison for not participating in a Nazi plot to execute a Jewish man. Yes, I work with Mr. Widmark in the apartment, and then I work with. As a matter of fact, I have no scenes with Miss Dietrich or Mr. Clift, but in the courtroom, Spencer Tracy is the presiding judge, and Richard Widmark is the prosecutor, and Burt Lancaster is the chief defendant. Is that how you say it? The defendant, and Maximilian Schell is the prosecutor. And I'm surrounded by rather good people, I'd say. Well, I think it's a good idea. They do that in England a lot, and I think it's good for an actor. I don't mean just the little cameo roles where you sort of play yourself, in your own setting. But if you actually play a character part, no matter how small, if it's good, I think it's interesting for an audience, and it sort of keeps your own work interesting doing that. That's the most involved answer I've ever heard. I don't know. I suppose I'd be called an entertainer, I think. Well, I think it's a terribly important picture. I think what it has to say is important, and also the opportunity to work with marvelous actors and to work with Mr. Kramer was very tempting, and I couldn't resist. Well, I think I could be the president of his fan club, because I find him imaginative and exciting and He knows exactly what he wants, and what he wants is inevitably right. And yet he's still very calm. He's very gentle. He doesn't, there's no tense feeling. He's marvelous. I would love to work with him again. Very welcome.